The program is quite unique in its substance. The title, Fighting with the Poor, tells you a lot about what it's about. It's about fighting alongside the poor in the developing world and sharing their struggles. And the course is divided into 3 separate parts, 3 6-month parts. And the first part is mostly theoretical. We go over some of the different economic forces that run the world. We see some of the pitfalls of capitalism and some of the causes of poverty in the developing and impoverished nations around the world. The second 6 months, we actually go to Ecuador, in our case, although Ecuador or Belize. And we spent some time working there with a humanitarian organization called Humana. We worked in a project called Child Aid, which had a variety of different aspects. We taught English, we worked in strengthening families' economies by raising chickens, having organic gardens, working with fish. There was a variety of different projects that we were involved in, and we got to learn a lot on the go. I think one of the strengths of this particular course is the amount of practical training that you get. And now in the last 6 months, we've returned here to the school, and the focus, aside from finishing our studies, is to create a product that we can bring to the public that helps to bring the situation and the plight of poor people in these different areas that we worked in out into public view and bring it into public discourse and see what kind of solutions we can find to the problems that we've encountered along the way.
My name is Heather, and I'm on the 18-month program. In my first 6 months here, I worked in sport and culture and alongside Calvin in maintenance. But in maintenance, my area was slightly different because I worked more in room assignment. So when new people were coming in, I assigned them to their rooms. In the sport and culture, I mainly worked planning different events and different sports. And it was quite interesting for me, making lots of connections and meeting a lot of different people here. In Ecuador, I had to learn Spanish because I didn't have any Spanish before I left, so that was difficult but interesting to learn. And I worked with different families, but my thing that was different from both Magdy and Calvin is I worked in a preschool, and I spent time teaching the kids songs and playing games. I've also this time around been helping out with one of the other teams, helping them with their studies and marking their tasks and helping them organise the things that we did before so that they can get a sort of similar or different experience when they're here in Student.
Well, I was also able to do a few different projects. I made a no-till cornfield out by the food forest as a bit of a trial for some different things I've been learning. I also started up a worm bin here. And when we moved to Ecuador, everything changed quite a bit. We worked full-time with communities. I worked in a rural village called El Tambo in the mountains. And I spent a lot of time working with families, helping them make the transition from chemical farming to organic. We were also worked in a tilapia project where we had 10 families. We put 10 pools with 10,000 tilapia, and we spent a lot of time on that project learning how to raise tilapia because we didn't have too much experience in the group, but it ended up being quite successful. Upon return here to the school in the last 6 months, the main focus has been, I've been working mostly in the garden. It's been my responsibility area, so we've been changing a little bit the way we plant, restructuring some things, teaching about different fertilizers, and training new people to run the garden when I'm gone. And all in all, it's been a very busy time, and we've had an opportunity to learn a lot along the way.
Hi, my name is Magdy. I'm from Mexico, also doing the 18 months. During this time, divided by 6 months, participating with different groups that the school hosts. There are different youth, and we also teach them about organic farming. It was fun to be working with them. They come from different parts of the world, so it was very interesting to learn different cultures and to share this experience. We visit different schools here in St. Vincent, and we organized different games. We did different cleanups around the area in Fitius and Chateaubriand. We helped to start a farmers market, and during that time we were organizing the people, working with the people, so that was very fun.
I think one of the challenges that I faced in Ecuador was when working with different families was trying to switch away from chemical agriculture to organic agriculture. We were dealing with a lot of problems there, completely depleted soils, a lot of soil compaction, unbalanced ecosystems, and it was very difficult to get an organic system established there. It would take about 3 years to get a system with a comparable yield. And so to speak to somebody who earns their living from their harvest and to tell them to make a transition to something that to them does not seem as certain is a very, very difficult thing. And so one of the ways we found to work around that is to work in communities and have people work in cooperatives to support each other and take steps either one at a time with support from the community, or set aside small parts of their land to begin a community effort and to be able to produce enough so that they can remain competitive. We were able to get something started and get some conversation started in the community to hopefully make a difference in the long term. I think the benefits from the point of view of the student is the practical training that you get. I think also interacting with the communities both here in St. Vincent and in Ecuador is a very enriching experience and can really open your eyes to how different people's lives can be around the world, the different cultures that people live in, and the way people perceive their current state and their future. It helps you to reassess a little bit the way you see the world around you.